So yeah, so this is my third episode of Artefact, and it's been very interesting so far. I've had a good time. I still have my cough, so I do apologize. Um, so yeah, so my first two episodes have been, let's see, the first was being a drum, and this past time was boots, and, and this time I'll be taking the part of uh magical sentient dagger. So if you haven't seen my other two episodes on this, Artifact is about you role playing from the perspective of being a sentient magical item. So when you play like D&D or whatever games, fantasy games in particular, because that's kind of genre that Artifact is aimed at the moment. Um, you pick up these magical items. Some are, kind of insignificant to you, or just otherwise, kind of minor. Oh, it's a bring of protection +1. But what if this magical item had its own sentience? What if this magical item, knew it was kind of going on around it? How would that turn out? So that's kind of the question we're asking here, and it's interesting to kind of trace this. So again, we're starting with the dagger this time around. So let's kind of get into it. I'm going to bring up again. I don't want to really share any of the actual game, the PDF with anyone, on the stream or anything. I want, if you're interested in this, please do buy it. You can the link to that, if you're watching this on YouTube, is down in the details. And I will kind of make a note before we leave this session. So yeah. Anyway, just as a note. And basically I'm doing one of each type of magic item for this series. So this is the third. So let's start out. So I am a dagger. You were tempered in the heat of a great forge by a legendary smith. Describe them, their materials, and their smithy. And I'll be adding 3 traits describing the item. And again, it says to draw it, but I'm going to do this at a later time. And at a later time when I kind of present all the items, I'm gonna make all this available from my my Discord, so you can download all of them and use them in your campaigns as you like. I'd love you to. That'd be awesome. All right, so let's start with this one. All right, so you're tempered in the heat of a great forge by a legendary smith. Describe them, their materials, and the smithy. All right. So let's do this. Okay. So let's see. Item creation. I first came. Oops, sorry. It's gonna move this keyboard a little bit. Hold on. All right. I first came into being. Seeing my creator, a smithy, named Belk of Cairborn. Making this all up as I go, which is cool. As he hammered the last rune into my surface, I became. Ooh, that's deep. Whoops, sorry about that. It's my keyboard. Very deep, actually. So, I became. And as I became, I felt my. Let's not go there. So, I felt the elements and the drives that my creator had computer had my web captioner is pretty horrible at the moment, so work with it. Maybe I need to enunciate better. Maybe that's proving actually to be the truth here. Anyway, so as I felt the elements and the drives that my creator had tempered into me. My very first thought was that I wanted to kill. I wanted to drink the blood of anyone, really. So, as I've done the last two and then into this one, I've been trying to kind of figure out, like when I'm created, what was the thing that my creator's trying to impart into me? You know, for one, it was like a sense of justice. Another one, it was a sense of like longing, right, wrong, you know. So I'm thinking for this one that I've been created for a purpose, and it's not a pretty one, it's a bloody one, and that's what daggers do, right? So here we are. I was made of the finest, let's see, mithril and silver, and decorated with blood red jewels in my crossguard. A diamond, a large. Oh no, it can't be a diamond. We don't want to make this too. You know what? You know what? Let's do this. Ooh, let's go with this. With white jewels in my crossguards. So you can imagine where I'm going with this. So let's look at traits. All right. So for traits, let's see here. I'm gonna say silent. Ooh, vampiric. Ooh, I like that. Silent, vampiric, and vindictive. Ooh, I like those. Silent, vampiric, vindictive. So this is not your friend. I am not your friend. So yeah. Hey, Aaron. Yeah. This is definitely a writing experiment. I'd like to do these solo games very much journalistic, journal-like, you know, journaling, etc., etc. So that is my goal. All right. So we have our traits. We have what we're created for. Let's see here. So now we have to figure out our bearer. All right. So this is, again, as normal, we start under newly forged. So I will start off with, let's see here. Ooh, I haven't done a young noble yet for starters. So let's do a young noble. Okay, newly forged, keeper 1. His name will be Darian. Darian of Ebenfield. Ebenfield. Ooh, I like that. All right. So let's talk about Darian. Darian is oops, a young noble. I meant to put that here. Darian is a young noble and an ambitious one at that. Most sons wait until the death of their fathers for assuming their title. Darian, however, would not wait that long and commissioned a weapon myself to be forged. I am everything that he needs to accomplish his goals. His goal of taking the title of Duke. And I will happily do so. All right. Okay, so we've described the keeper and the acquisition. We're going to answer the keeper's questions. So I'm going to bring those over here. Okay. All right. Fold these guys. All right. All right. Describe the landed family that you're descended from. The Duke of Ebenfield owns the lands south of area and to the north of Lumbridge. Quite a plot of land. With land comes power, and this family has known that for several generations. It is no surprise that Darian has learnt, I'm trying to work learnt into a sentence for all, learnt ambition well from his father. How were you used in the noble's cutthroat politics? Well, we've kind of already answered that. But let's answer it anyway. Okay. I helped keep Darian's footsteps silent as he went through the keep. Moving past servants unawares. So let's look back at the, okay, so we're silent. So yeah, that's where we get that from, vampiric vindictive. So let's keep those traits in mind as we go. Oh yeah, servants unawares. I made him into a literal shadow of who he was, to slip by silently in the dark. When he did find his father, He didn't stop to gloat or look over the man or enjoy the time at all. He just thrust me into the man's flesh. I, on the other hand, enjoyed myself immensely. My first taste of blood, and I took and took and took life force until the old man was left as but a husk. A little grim. We haven't gone grim yet with this game, so here we are. All right, so we described the thing there. So choose from the tables. Basically, is this am I destined in this with this keeper for good things or neglect or what? Let's see here. So let's see. Let's look at victories and valor. I have an idea that, like, you know, he very much I very much like being with this keeper as he gives me chances to consume life force and whatnot. Let's see. All right, let's take this one. So, all right. So I'm going to kind of take this from Darian's point of view. So your keeper uncovered an insidious conspiracy in their people's ruling class. With your help, they exposed the devious scheme. What was the price for speaking truth to power? So I'm going to kind of twist this. I'm thinking, yes. As a shadow, Darian watched others at the conference of dukes. Sure, there's such a thing. We'll go with that, right? Let's see. Watched others at the conference of dukes. Taking in all of the information divulged when one is unawares or feels overly safe, be that in the boardroom or the bed. There was indeed a plot to unseat Darian as Duke. And, of course, neither of us could allow this to happen. Let's see. Let's see. In just one night, we killed them all. There was but one remaining Duke, and that was Darian. And let's we're gonna kind of cross over. So I'm gonna kind of cross over into let's see here, hold on. Cross over into there's this table, there's artifact question, how the keeper loses you. This is a good place to kind of bring that up too. he consumed all of their land, taking it under his family's name. With hunger only matched by my own. It was as he rode, surrounded by heavily armed guards, back to his keep to enjoy his spoils, that I sensed his plans for me. I had done my job and was now to be put on a shelf and admired. Put on a shelf? No, this would not be. I need to drink. Let's see. It is no accident that he fell from his horse and impaled himself on my mithril form. Boom! Alright. So that kind of handles that question. So let's let's answer an artifact question, and then we're gonna be in time. Let's see here. Let's see. I'm gonna go with the this one is kind of tried and true. I like it. And it really, it works with this kind of thing. So let's do this. All right. Over time, you gain a name or honorific. Oop. What is it and why? Let's see. And not only had I drunk the blood of my former keeper's enemies, all dukes, drank his as well. Duke Bane became attached to me as surely as the jewels in my crossguard. Alright. Alright, time passes. So how long are we going to be without a keeper? So for the way it works is you have the 3 phases of life for the artifact. This is newly forged, so it starts out with smaller times and works up to huger times as we go on. So I'm going to say, I mean, it's fun to kind of keep, kind of have a little bit of a wait between. I'm going to go like, let's do a month. I'm going to go a month this time. And then we'll go to our second keeper. So, for 1 month, we rest for 20 seconds. And of course, I forgot my phone again. It has my little timer, so give me 1 second, and I'll be right back. I'm going to actually do it just like the book tells me. All right, I am back. Okay, so the way this works is the game's author, for this time passes, they have you kind of also take a time out. And I found it's very interesting how the passage of time, is you just kind of close your eyes, meditate, whatever, how it goes and how you'll kind of see, I hope. So hold on. I'm going to do my 20 seconds. All right. All right, let's start now. So, as you rest, think about the silence and solitude of abandonment. Here we go. 20 seconds. Do it with me. All right, that's 20 seconds. So when you first start the waiting out, it was very interesting. It's like, it's just a few seconds. But yeah, you kind of it's just long enough to kind of get in that mindset of, oh, I'm relaxing. Suddenly, that's broken by the timer being up. And just like that, me, Duke Bane, is picked up by a new bearer. Just like that. So let's find out who this is. Right. So we're still in the first act, Newly Forged. We're in the first act, I believe, for like 2 keepers. So I'm going to say that, let's see here. I don't think, have I done I'm not sure if I've done a folk hero yet. Interesting. So let's do that. All right, so the name let's call her Elaine. Elaine the Just. And spoiler alert, I have a feeling this is going to be an ill-fated keeper. Let's see. Yeah, folk hero. All right, I'm just going to paste in my 2 items down here. Okay. All right, so how does Elaine find me? Elaine was stalking my Duke and had fully planned to kill him, as he was seen by the general populace as, shall we say, less than savory. They knew the stories of what my former keeper had done, and knew that with even more power, he would not be stopped. As the fates had it, though, when my Duke died, she was able to dispatch his column of guards with the help of her own people. She took me up as a token, but did not claim me at first. Over time, though, she sensed my power and sought to use it to further her own plans. Okay. So describe the isolated village they worked to protect. The small village of... we have to keep making up names here. Small village of Glingen. The place where she both grew up and buried her parents and husband. She has sworn that no more evil shall touch the land under her protection. We shall see. ... How did you help them protect their home in a time of crisis? While the news of her deeds had brought great cheer to some, there were others who were hurt by the loss of the Duke and the following vacuum of power that he and subsequently his death left. They raided the village. Oh my. I drank my fill and then some that night. Her heart was in what some would call a good place. I merely sought to place myself in others' hearts, which I did. You got that wordplay? That was good. Oops, sorry. Gotta scroll up. Yeah, my web captioner is sucking. Web captioner. I can't enunciate this much. I just can't. It doesn't work like that. But I will try. Oh my god. Alright. Alright, so... let's see here. Okay, so we've answered those questions. Let's see. We've answered the keeper's questions. Now we have to go to a table. I'm gonna go dark on this one. Let's say neglect or mischief. We'll go to that instead of the glory one. Let's see. Come on. All right, this is a good one. I don't think I've used this one either, so that's awesome. All right. All right. Actually, I think I have used this one, but we're good. There's only so many. So, let's see here. It was not long after my deep drinking that, let's see here, Elaine understood my true power, or so she thought. With such life, filling me, my power was increased several fold. I decided that I should save myself, lest I be cast aside or buried, and or be cast aside or be buried by keeper in an effort to take what she considered full out of the world. One moment she was eating dinner with dinner in the village square, and the next moment she stood in the middle of a circle of death. I had taken the entire village. I had never known that I could control a keeper so, but with the energy that I contained at that time, I did so with ease. Upon seeing what she'd done and realizing her powerlessness, she killed herself. Not ironically, with me. Really getting my evil on this episode. All right. Okay, so we've done neglect mischief. Oh, you know what? I forgot. Something has to change. I'm going to say, so you can ask an artifact question, basically in the neglect mischief or the glory table. Something changes about the artifact, about me. I'm going to say, let's see. It was upon drinking her life force that I felt the gems in my crossguard begin to turn deep red. All right. So yeah, I figured that was like start with white, and as they take lives along the way, suddenly those, well, not suddenly, but over time, those gems start to go red. All right, so something changed, and now we're back to moving along, and now we're moving to the Act 2 of this. So Act 2 is a time of glory. Let's see. So actually, I suppose we have to figure out how much time passed. I'm going to say another month. Because basically this whole village is dead. And this is a time, what time, in this fantasy world, who visits, how, someone traveling, selling stuff over the course of a month, etc. Let's do that. So time passes a month. All right, so let's we'll take my time out. Again, this is a month, so it's 20 seconds. So again, if you'd like, take the time with me, close your eyes, meditate, whatever. And again, as we kind of get into longer times, you're going to see how this really does imitate like this sentient magic items viewpoint. Well, you'll see as we go. So, but let's be unkept for this month. So 20 seconds on the clock. Mm, 20 seconds. So yeah, so for this one, for these short ones, I barely get started. I'm kind of like relaxed, and just when I'm kind of ready to kind of there and enjoying that rest, suddenly I'm awoken. And again, just that's a perfect, corollary between that and this item, this sentient item, kind of with time passing. It's like I like to think of the artifacts as not quite getting time. So as things happen, as this kind of slips by, interesting things, not interesting things, etc. But they just kind of slip on by through time and really don't understand the greater concept of it. Maybe they get idea of time, but not this thing that we as mortals get. So I think that's kind of important to this equation. Okay. All right. So, okay, now we are in a time of glory. So as you can see, another 2 keepers here, and then the last one, I just do one with the ruination and do an epilogue. So yeah, we have 3 keepers to go. Right, so let's take a look. So, time of glory, we have several choices. I think let's go with... Wow, this is tough. There's only 4. I need more. But let's go with a righteous champion. This does bode ill for them, but spoiler alert, All right. So okay. So let's. I'm just gonna put down their questions real quick before we kind of get into kind of describing this new one, this new keeper. Okay, so all right, so this is a righteous champion. Rhea, the righteous. Did I spell it right? Champion. All right. Let's see. Returning from a campaign in distant lands, Kriya was returning to her own kingdom of origin. Kind of put in there, it's not her kingdom per se. She's not an owl. And had no knowledge of the goings on with my former keepers. Thus, when she came upon the town of rotting corpses, she was aghast. But one thing could not be put out of her mind as she saw the scene, and that was my hilt glimmering in the sun. My mithril as majestic as ever. So let's see. So this is a religious order for this champion. Goal is to share the wisdom of Aura. Apparently that's their god. I just made that up right now. With the rest of the world, the more inaccessible, the better. I think that's good. Let's see. Yeah, so how do you help them complete an epic quest? Ooh. Let's see. Kriya was passing through a small village, and they pleaded with her to bring to them the wisdom of Aura. Shocking. But at the same time, we're in fear for their lives. For a dragonling lived in a cave nearby and had been terrorizing them. I had been around enough deceit and lies to see that the villagers were using my keeper to further their own ends, and could have cared less for any words from an unknown god called Aura. But my keeper was naive, and with the knowledge of her quest, I was intrigued. I had never before drunk the blood or life essence of such a monster, if monster is the correct term. After all, it is only doing what it was created to do. Very much like myself. Am I a monster? Deep. Very deep. In the end, the dragonling tried its best to sense us, but my power was greater. even as my edge, let's see, bit into the back of its skull. And with the taste of this life, I became even stronger. All right. Okay, so we've let's see, done the keeper questions. This is interesting. I am evil, if there is such a, if you can define it, evil, a point of view and all that. But theoretically, I'm not something that values life except to drink it up. So I'm gonna go with the glory table in that it's for irony that this this religious zealot is using this evil creation to further their own ends, and it's working out really well. Irony or not. So let's see here. So I'm going to go for the victories and valor. So let's do this one. I'm not sure if I don't think I've done this one yet. So I'm basically trying to whittle through the ones that I haven't done yet. Okay. 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 So a long-standing feud between two prominent factions was resolved. How did you help your keeper convince the fractious leaders to come to the negotiating table? I'm going to say this is maybe some years later, where I'm recognized and become part of folklore involving this keeper, Kreia. But my Duke Bane carries over, so that's going to be the crux of this. So let's see. We traveled several kingdoms over during my time with Kreia. How do I spell it? Jeez. Kreia. Okay. And she entered into a kingdom in search of a god. And she had just the one. When we when the two factions met, she explained how Aura would assist neither until both had become one. To illustrate the consequences of not joining, she plunged me into the table between them. My red jewels glinting at them and letting them know that Duke Bane could slay not only dukes. I was pleased with my progress whittling away at Krea's resolve and showing her how efficient killing can be to solving one's problems, large and small. In this case, it worked. Let's see. The last of my jewels took on the darkest of red hues. Darkest of red. Ooh, let's go crimson. Crimson hues as just a few of the few of those who would not come to the table were dealt with. This is also the change that happens. I think I'm gonna answer some questions for the next one or two for the weapon, but we'll get to that. But one or two, I mean, of course, the keepers. All right, let's see. All right, we're back to a time of glory. So we've done the choose from the tables. I'm going to answer an artifact question. So let's go there. Let's see. Interesting. I think this is a good question. Well, you know, I think I'm going to save this question for later. Let's do this one. Bring this one over. All right. You were once used to kill someone your keeper was madly in love with. Describe the person they were forced to eliminate. Did you love them too? Ooh, interesting one. As Kreia grew in power and found herself the head of a cathedral of Aura, she fell in love with one of her handmaidens and found some kind of solace in her arms. Let's see, while I had taught Kreia the usefulness for spilling of blood, I had not yet shown her the ways of subterfuge and saw what her lover really had in store. Betrayal. As the lover attempted to take Kreia's life, let's see, as I take Kreia's life, I made my move and took hers. The experience of drawing the blood and feeling the euphoria of that kill through me drove her mad. And she died sometime later, a broken woman, a mere husk of the legend that she once was. So that's how I get lost. Let's see here. Okay. So we've done an artifact question. Now we know how the keeper loses me. So let's go through time. Okay, so now at Time of Glory, the time gets longer. I'm gonna say let's rest for we're gone. We're out of use for a decade. So that's 1 minute of rest time for me. Resting for 1 decade. Okay. All right, so we're resting for a minute this time. And this time period asks you to, as you rest, think about the weight of every passing day growing imperceptibly with each sunset. So we're now becoming old enough, if you will, that like, again, time, again, there's the time, that the slipping effect that I feel that these artifacts feel as like time goes by. Again, just kind of slipping by. Does a year mean anything to them? They're immortal. They don't get older. They don't get, anything but more powerful necessarily. Potentially broken, rusted. We shall see. So let's do our minute. Okay. All right, so we're going to do 1 minute of meditation. So again, I'm out of use. My keeper is gone. And I am unkept. 1 minute. A decade passes. Hmm. 1 minute. All right. So again, so like for the minute, I very much am like you never realize how long a minute is until you're not doing anything with it. So I always find that kind of rest, the longer the rest, interesting. And yeah. So we'll probably do some longer ones. We'll see. So yeah, so we were out of circulation for a whole 10 years, maybe just a little more. And I'm going to say my next keeper is a monster hunter. Interesting, no? This will be Keth. Monster hunter. Keth. Oop. Unbold that. Keth was a monster hunter of some renown, even before feeling the heft of my blade. He had traveled far and wide and heard talk of Dukebane, which lie in disuse at the nearby Cathedral of Aura. He told the abbot there, abbot there, of his deeds and how I could only help him, and how perhaps he was virtuous enough to change me and use me for good. I admired him for setting a worthy challenge. We're not going to write it off yet. All right. Okay, describe the highly competitive guild they belong to. I'm going to say a group of experts in the field of monster hunting. They gather once every 3 years to compare trophies, to welcome new hunters to their ranks, and to mourn the passing of those who had died in the pursuit of the perfect hunt. The Order of Krana, named for its founder. Okay, how are you used to defeat a legendary beast? Let's see here. Ooh. Let's see. The Crone of Adelberry, what is it? Swamp. She had been a challenge. When my keeper came upon her after tracking her movements for weeks, he did so in the open, much to her glee. Her dark magic was powerful, and she knew that even the muscle of this hunter could not fell her. It was too late that she sensed my presence, and sensed as well that my magic was greater. She died with a surprised grimace on her face. And though I drank of her life essence, this was the first time that the flavor was one of filth, and it sickened even me. Nice. All right. So we know the acquisition. We've done the keeper's questions. Choose one of the tables. Ooh, which way do I go with this one? Let's see. I'm gonna say this again. I think I'm repeating this one, but let's go with it anyway. Okay. Right. So I'm gonna kind of bring in my, again, how I get lost and this question here. Let's see. So we're thrown carelessly atop a heap of treasure. There was another sentient item in its hoard. What did you learn from this other intelligence, and did you get along? Let's see. Like all of those who live, who put their lives at risk constantly, my keeper was doomed to die horribly, and horribly he did die. Even my razor-sharp blade could do nothing to protect him from the likes of a creature that can't be cut, a formless creature whose body was like water moving aside as I would strike, then burning my keeper with but its own flesh. What are you correcting me with here? Ooze. I never did quite learn how to use that who's correctly. So here we are. My keeper dissolved, and only myself and a few trinkets remaining. The creature deposited me on a pile of shiny objects. I found myself hilt to hilt with another dagger. I found myself touching the very dagger that I had fought against while in Krea's hands when she killed her lover. Her lover's blade had a name as well. Foundling. It took great pleasure in having a large number of keepers, enjoying new knowledge and new places as each would say new places and new knowledge and new places, and to do so often required new keepers. We shared quite a bit, and though Foundling frowned upon my ways, they enjoyed the stories and hearing about my own travels. For my part, I only half heard its own stories being told to me as I let the passing of time drown them out to but a murmur. Is it not how you spell murmur? Come on. Murmur? No. Murmur? Come on. Really? Okay. What else? Alright. So that also kind of tells me what's going on. So as I lie there, I felt myself start to darken slightly. My mithril didn't sparkle as it once did when the rare light hit my surface. The crone's last affliction cast had taken that from me. Damn her. Alright, so I've also done like a change here, so that was kind of like the change. Hey, we kind of missed the question, but I don't think that's as important here. Alright, so let's go back to A Time of Glory. Let's see. Alright, actually, we're almost to the ruination, so let's pass some time. So, and this is a perfect place to pass quite a lot of time, actually. Let's go with centuries. And then we'll roll on the shifts and currents table. Well, not roll, I'll just choose one. So yeah, so centuries pass. So for me, that's 3 minutes. We're going to do that, and then we're going to look at that table of rust, dust and rust is a good one here. And let's do that. So here, again, here with this longer one, this is where you're going to feel a little more of that, you know, kind of get in the mindset of that magic sentient item. You can, you know, do the time with me, the meditation with me, kind of just close your eyes for those 3 minutes. It's weird. It's like, at first you don't like, having done this twice now, it's like, and I've done the longer waits, it's like, at first it's like, okay, you know, time passes. I wonder how much time has passed. Has it been a minute yet? These thoughts kind of creep in, and then it's finally like, you know, this might just go on forever. I'm just going to relax. Just don't worry about it. However long it goes is however long it goes. And that sound like ding, ding, ding. And I imagine that's very much, again, that's like the sentient item is just letting time slip by. You know, it's just, oh, this is a long time, or is it? Or, you know what, I don't care. Let's just wait it out. Let's see. Oh my gosh. We're found. All right, so we're going to do 3 minutes, so bear with me. And again, I encourage you to also do the meditation with me. 3 minutes. Here we go. Hmm. 3 minutes. All right. So that was an interesting one. So, like, as I was kind of, passing the time, I could start getting to that point where I'm like, I really want to go again. I want to go, but it seems like it's going to keep going. And, you know, just, it's a long time. And suddenly, boom, you're back. So, interesting. So let's continue on. So I'm going to do the Dust and Rust. This is definitely a situation where, it's, I'm spending time in a dark place, where, you're not getting polished or anything here. You're not getting taken care of. So Dust and Rust seems appropriate. So we're going to change something about this. I think this is good here. I think I'm going to ask an artifact question this time. Okay. Let's see. I rest for centuries. And now... Okay. So, right. Gold and silver dull. Iron rusts. Colors fade to a sepulchral gray. Holy crap, the webcaster got that one right. What would your creator say if they saw you now? Interesting. Yes. Let's see. My mithril has dulled. My jewels, having not fed in so very long, are the color of rust. I have known darkness for so very long. My creator would recognize me for certain, and maybe be happy that I served the purpose for which he created me for so long. There is a part of him that would mourn the loss of his artistry on my surface. So, but he is long dead, and his opinions of no value. It's dark. That's dark. I'm dark. All right, we're on to my last keeper. And we're in Act 3, The Ruination. I have some good choices here. Let's go with this one. Oh, this is going to be interesting. My new keeper is a doomsday cult. Oh, man. Let's go with it. All right. The Eyes of Siblis. Doomsday cult. Just made that up. Just flows. Just flows. Once you're on a roll. So let's put the questions down here in preparation. Yep. Okay. And kind of let's keep that in mind. Let's see here. Okay. After uncountable time had passed, I felt light upon the surface of my blade once more. It was first just a glimmer in the darkness, then the lantern, and then I felt starlight on my surface again, once again. My legend had never died. And there were those who sought my power. Those who found me and said power were members of the cult. The cult, the Eyes of Siblis. They had such plans for me. Alright, describe their leader. The leader of the Siblisians. Sure, let's go for that. Was Cav. Once just a common man, but who had risen, who had found a calling in the cult and knew that they were destined for greatness through it. We'll go with that. How are used to complete their sinister, wretched ritual? Oh my. This sprung to mind quite easily, actually. Let's see. The Siblisians had studied several ancient and arcane texts and saw that I was the focal point of a ritual that would bring about the end of this world and the beginning of the next, in which they would all be as gods. Let's capitalize that. To rule over that world as they saw fit, their level of power based on their dedication to the cult. Their research took years, and I spent that time well. As Cav and others would hold me in their in their fanatical fingers, I would impart unto them the secret and final portion of their ritual until they believed it with all of their souls. The ritual went thusly. I was Duke Bane and was a taker. Sorry. Gotta move out there. Of noble blood and had been for centuries. What better way to summon their dark powers' attention than to spill such blood? On the day of the ritual, oh, how I drank. It was my singular most glorious moment, and it seemed to last forever. With the nobles dead, in order to cross over, as I had convinced them, they too must die upon my point. One by one, around the circle formed by the bodies of nobles, each cultist in turn took their own life, using me as their instrument of sentient. Sentient? Yep. Really? Sure. Ascension. As it came to Cav, I decided to have more fun and pleasure at his expense. He was the last and stood alone, surrounded by bodies of cultist and noble. It was only then, as he was about to press my point to his heart, that I giggled and laughed and guffawed in his mind. Really? I suppose I'd never really wanted to spell guffaw before now. Sure. His mind, letting him in on my secret. That this ritual was a lie, and that all had died for naught but to feed me. I only then wished that I had a mouth, so that my glee could be heard over the countryside, over the sound of calves lamenting screams and cries. Boom. All right, so let's go to the next part. Let's see. So we did the keeper's questions. And I think we're going to go back to, we're going to choose back from the kind of like the neglect table. Where do you know how the keeper loses? Well, maybe not. Maybe you don't know how it loses me. Let's do this. I'm going to answer an artifact question first. I think this is the perfect last question for this weapon. All right. Right. How do you come to think of your keepers as comrades in arms, thoughtless captors, or something else? I think the answer is kind of obvious at this point, so let's go with it. I see those who hold me as my conduit of action. I must feed, and they feed me. I whisper in their ears, and they listen. I make them kill, and they deal with the aftermath. They are my servants in the truest sense. All right. So that's an artifact question. Let's go back to, let's see here. Again, let's look at which table to go up. Let's see here. Haven't I done? I haven't done this one yet, so let's do this one. Well, yeah. All right. Well, let's do the question first, or the thing first. Oops. Yep. So I'm gonna go up here. He denied me his life, and instead thrust me into the dirt and threw himself off of a nearby cliff. Okay, so that's how it goes. So you were locked in a vault while poorly made counterfeits were sold to hoodwinked adventurers. What fault in design made these copies fail at the crucial moment? Hmm. Um. Found in the dirt. Soon thereafter. I was taken very carefully by a local merchant. Let's make it she. She would only hold me with layers of leather and silk wrapped around me, wrapped around my form. And thus never truly became my keeper. Instead, she, let's see here. Instead, she found a craftsman of dubious skill who she worked with to create copies of myself. The still legendary Dukebane. Dukesbane? Which one is it? I'm forgetting my own story, which is kind of cool. I'm actually forgetting what the name was. It's like so much time has passed. You know, that's imagine that's sometimes it has to slip away even from the item. You know, it makes a whole lot of sense. It's really actually kind of deep. Let's see. Duke Bane. Duke singular. Duke Bane. To sell to those who yearned for such power and had gold to spend. And spend they did. I am almost proud of how many copies of me they sold to the unsuspecting. In the end, though, my jewels could not be duplicated, and the copies were based on such inferior materials that the paste jewels often cracked, leading the buyer, the angry buyer, back to the counterfeiters, only to find that they'd wisely moved on. Yes, I mean counterfeiters. Let's see. So I have a little bit to do yet. Let's see. Yeah. So let's see. Detail. Let's look at the traits. I wonder, as have I become a little something else? Hmm. I'm gonna say knowing. Let's go back up here and add knowing. I think it's, again, it kind of sees its place in the world. It sees, you know, what it has to offer and its own plan, and it knows how to bring it about. All right, I think we're to the epilogue. Let me just double check. Okay. So I won't do the time passing on this last one since we're already, you know, this is where its story ends for now. Let's see. The counterfeiters being generally let's see, a generally stupid lot eventually mixed me up with the counterfeits, and before long we'll have another keeper, and that keeper will spread the legend of Duke Bane even further. Hope that I do not happen upon you, or I assure you, I will taste of your blood. There you go. Done. We've created another item. Back up here. Duping. Nice. So that's it. I do want to kind of say, so yeah, this is a lot of fun. I wish that there were more choices. I think that's the only failing of this solo game. But but I suppose that's how that it's supposed to be like a short game. It's supposed to be done like once or twice. So again, this game is Artefact by Mousehole Press, or Jack Harrison is the author. And yeah, we're done. This is the third episode. We just finished the Dagger here, and I'm looking forward to more. My goal is to do one of each item, or until it just becomes so repetitive that I'm having trouble keeping a new story. So we'll see how that goes. So until then, don't fall victim to Duke Bane. Be good to yourself, to others. Go forth and do no harm, unlike Duke's Bane. And I will talk to you again soon. If you're watching this on Twitch, definitely think of following me. I'm also an affiliate, Twitch affiliate, so you can subscribe to me if you like and be alerted of, and also, generally following or subscribing will be alerted of when I go live. And if you're watching this on YouTube, all my social media and stuff, details in the bottom, and definitely think of following this channel and hitting the bell, and so you can be alerted when I put something new out, which is weekly. So with that, I bid you a fond farewell, and I hope all is well with you. Take care. Until next time. Bye for now.